Ooh, it's cold out there, but I just harvested some lettuce from my garden. I'm going to have a great salad in December and January. But you know what? If I want to have that great salad in December and January when I'm all bundled up, cozy in my hat and my winter blanket, well, whew, I got to start thinking about this in the summertime. The time to think about fall gardening is now. And when I say now, I'm recording this July 30th, 31st, whatever day it is, the end of July. This video is all about planting your fall garden in August, because if you don't plant your fall garden in August, you're going to be out of time. And by the time winter comes, you are not going to have any lettuce like this to eat in your salad. You're going to be heading to the grocery store, seeing what kind of selection they have. Now, fall and winter gardening can actually be so much easier than summer gardening. I'm kidding you not. It's amazing. I'll give you two awesome things about it right now. And then I want you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button after that. So there are fewer pests in the fall and in the winter. And because there are fewer veggies to grow, you have to focus in. You can be more successful. A lot of the veggies even taste sweeter than they do in the summertime. So that's a win right there. So if you think that's good, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You can always stay up to date when I publish new videos, which is every Friday, and occasionally a bonus video here and there. I'm Rachel Stravelli. I've been organic gardening for 20 years. I have a master's in soil science. And here on this channel, we delve into how to make your life even more amazing, because I believe that you are not an accident. We're amazing people. And sometimes we want to increase that, support that amazingness. So I help support it with connecting you to nature, connecting you to more empowerment for yourself, connecting to your creativity, helping you to develop radical self-trust and self-acceptance. And today I'm sharing with you what are some of the veggies that you can plant right now that you can harvest this fall and this winter. I am in the process of creating a fall gardening online class. I've taught this class several years in person, but I'm moving it online. So if you want to click the link below, there's a link to sign up for the pre-sale. If the course is completed, the link will send you straight to the course page, so you can sign up for the course if you like. And it'll tell you what you can plant, how you can plant it, and so much more. I'll get back to that at the end. So lettuce is one of the things that you can plant right now for your fall and winter garden. And there are many lettuce varieties that you can choose. Some of them are better suited for the winter. They might even say winter lettuce in the name. In that case, you want to go for those, definitely. And there are a whole lot of other options for veggies that you can plant right now. So I will give you the quick rundown so that you can watch this video and then get out there and start gardening. And even if you don't have that much space, some of these don't take that much room. All right, so the brassicas family, everything also known as the cole family, is amazing for the cold. Get it? Cole, cold. That family includes Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. What is that one? Oh, nothing. Cabbage, kale, more cabbage, broccoli, kohlrabi. I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but that's what I'm going to cover for right now. All of those veggies are great for fall and winter gardening. Depending on the lifespan or length of when it takes that plant to get from seed to maturity, you may have to plant a transplant or a seedling this August as opposed to a seed, but that's something that you'll want to look into as you get into this a little bit more. And you know what? If you don't know what you're doing, broccoli leaves are just as edible as a broccoli head. Now, I know we grow it for the broccoli head, but any of them that you plant, if you run out of time with frost and daylight and all that, and it doesn't get to full maturity for you to harvest, you're still going to have leaves that you can use in a stir fry, in a salad, in a smoothie, however you like to use those greens. All right, other things that you can plant, edible flowers. I love these. They're beautiful on cakes, in drinks. You can put them in a salad. So many ways that you can use pansies, and they don't mind a little bit of snow on them. Some of the varieties I'm going to tell you about, you're going to want to cover or protect from the cold if you live in a more cold region. But many of us who live in zones 5, 6, and 7, we might not even need to cover some of these. Some of the cole and brassicas plants don't even need to be covered. I never cover my pansies, and they're perfectly fine. Carrots and beets can be planted now. And some of them you will eat, if it's a short enough growing season, you'll even get to harvest them before your first frost. In my course, the fall and winter gardening course linked below, I go into which ones you'll want to plant so you can harvest it before frost or in the early winter, and which ones you'll want to overwinter and keep in your garden as the winter goes along. And beets can have a whole range of days to maturity. This one here doesn't say, but typically they can be anywhere from 55 days to 75 days. So what else? Spinach. Now where I live right now, so I'm in zone B in South Carolina, it's pretty hot. You may notice me sweating. I am not going to plant my spinach out in the regular garden bed right now. It's just too hot. What I will do, however, is get little seed pots or flats, plant my seeds in here, keep them in the shade, kind of how I'm in the shade right now, let them get bigger, and in 3 or 4 weeks, as some of my other plants are dying off, then I'll either put them in a bigger pot or I'll put them in the garden. That's a great way to do it, because what you may also be noticing is you might not have a lot of room in your garden beds. I've met people before in my past years of working with clients who said, I'd love to do fall and winter gardening, but I don't have anywhere to put these things. And I say, get out your pots, get out your flats, and plant in those. And then even if you need to, plant those into one size bigger pots. And then by that point, you should have enough that's finishing up in your main garden that you can plant those into your main garden. All right, I've mentioned lettuce. There are many kinds of lettuce. One I have right here is called red tinged winter lettuce. Peas, similar with the lettuce, depending on and spinach, how hot it is where you are, you may want to wait to plant your peas. There are some veggies that are not as well known to like your average person, whether they're a gardener or not, but which do wonderfully in the wintertime in your garden. So one of those is called mâche or mâche, corn salad. So this one, I've grown this a few years. It's very mild, and it does great. I think 2 years that I grew it, I didn't cover it, and 1 year I did cover it. It did just as well when I didn't cover it as when I did, and that was still kind of a cold winter. Another one that does great in the winter is Mizuna, and there are several other varieties. Now, as I said, I have a course linked below, but if you're more of the book learning type, Elliot Coleman, he grows in zone 5, I believe. He lives in Maine. He grows winter in a greenhouse. And this book talks all about 4-season harvest, talks all about growing in the winter. Another reference, which I will link below, who I really admire, Kathy, she has a blog, and she created this lovely handout, which I put on my fridge as a reference. Recommended winter vegetables and planting dates for plant zone hardiness 6B. Now, if you're not that hardiness, then you may want to take my course so you can learn how to calculate, or get one of these books. What she does is says what the vegetable you can plant is, what the recommended variety, and when you need to plant it if you're going to keep it covered, and when you need to plant it if you're not going to keep it covered. Now, the other thing that I recommend in every garden class I teach, whether it's a free class or my paid online classes, or when I get to do in-person workshops again and in-person, is having a garden notebook. It is essential, in my opinion, that as much as possible, you document and write down, what are you learning? What are you observing? If you plant romaine that's from a certain seed company this year and it does terribly, if you have it in your notebook, you will know next year to either plant earlier, plant later, buy from a different seed company. You will have information to work with that you can build upon. Whereas if you have no way of documenting your knowledge and your learning and your experience, then some of that is going to be forgotten, because let's be real here. there's a lot that we're keeping in our heads right now. Let's use these ancient technologies, whether it's a notebook or an app or some other information keeping device that you use. I highly recommend keeping note of what you plant, when you plant it, and if you have enough time, write down the seed company and seed variety. I have found that that's super helpful. I like to keep all my spring and fall seeds in one bag together. As you can tell, I love planting, so that when I'm ready to plant in the spring or in the fall, and remember, we're planting in the summer now because you can't plant in the fall. For the fall, you won't have enough time. But when I'm planting for fall, I just grab my bag and I look through here and I see, what do I want to plant? What do I not want to plant? And then I go to town. Now, I did not mention, I'm realizing there's a few others that I'm seeing in here that I didn't pull out. Arugula, Swiss chard, a lot of salad greens that we use are delightful in a fall garden. Similarly, Chinese greens, which there's a whole range of, bok choy, tatsoi. I have one in here called Yum Yu Choi Sum. So many cool names and varieties. Experiment. Again, this is why a notebook is helpful. You can write down, oh, my family really loved this variety and it was very low maintenance. Or you can write down, we will never buy this variety again, or it was okay. The other cool thing about fall gardening, similar to summer gardening too, you don't have to have a lot of space to do it. You can have a big pot or a 2x2 garden bed that you put, let's say, some kale plants in, some lettuce in, and tend to that and have enough for a salad here and there. It's a really nice way to give yourself an excuse to get outside in the cooler time of year and to let you have fresh veggies coming in. The veggies that grow in the wintertime have a little bit different nutrients in them because the cold temperatures forces the plants to have different reactions to handle the cold. Anthracene, there's one word, I forget exactly what it is, but it's what gives that purplish tint to kale and some other varieties. There are more of those in plants in the wintertime because of the cooler temperatures. Lastly, again, with all gardening, there's going to be a learning curve. So remember, if some of your plants survive and some of them don't, or you plant them too late, or you plant them too early, it's okay. I don't know a single gardener who hasn't killed plants, who hasn't thought, why did I do that? Who hasn't thought, that was the wrong place to put it, the wrong nutrients, the wrong whatever. We all make mistakes. The expert gardeners like myself, the reason we gain the level of expertise that we do partly is because we keep on doing it year after year after year and learning from our expertise, learning from our experience. So if you're just starting out, I want you to remember, it's okay. You're probably going to make some mistakes. That's part of the learning process. And you won't be a successful gardener if you don't. So that's okay. When it happens, you can be like, that was a learning experience. If you want to get some of my experience and my expertise into your hands, below there is my, right now it's about a little bit less than 3-hour gardening course that's all about the basics of organic gardening based on 20 years of my experience in schooling. And it's called Breaking Ground Sowing Seeds. Also, there's the link to the fall gardening class that I'm finishing developing right now. And I have a free 30-minute gardening basics if you would like to do that. You can find those below. And I also will link the book that I shared. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with a friend or family member who's also thinking about gardening. And give me a comment. If there's a variety that I didn't mention, it's possible you can still grow it. I just didn't think about it. The varieties that I shared are ones that they're not frost tender or frost sensitive. They can handle a little bit of frost. But if you're planting in August and you don't get your first frost until mid-October, you've still got 60, 70, maybe even 80 growing days, which means you can plant things that mature in 80 days or less. So there are probably varieties that you can plant that applies to. But if you have a question or a comment, please feel free to leave it below. If you think you're going to start your first fall and winter garden, tell me. I would love to encourage you. I have a free Facebook group as well where we provide support and encouragement. So you're welcome in that group. The link for that will be below. All right, have a great day. See you soon. Bye.